What a pleasure to be with you, Dr. Michelle Dulake. You created Fera Pets, and it's turned into quite a broad spectrum of holistic supplements for pets. And recently, I saw that you launched a collagen, I think it's a chew. And I was like, oh my God, I don't actually know what collagen is. I'm now taking capsules for humans. I think I probably should take the Fera Pets one because the one I'm taking, I was told by a really good dermatologist, a serious, she cares about wellness. Oh, it's called forest green or forest leaf or something. I've been taking two in the morning and two at night. It's just to make your skin, your hair, and your nails better. So I told the hair cutter person that I was doing, she said, oh, I've heard great things about it. And I said, I have no idea what it's doing or why I'm taking it. So
Yeah.
can you help us understand? Because you're a scientist as well as a
Yeah.
veterinarian.
Absolutely. So happy to be here and happy to see you. So we did launch a Collagen Plus product. It actually is a powder,
A powder.
which
Okay.
I love. Powders, easier to give to dogs and cats.
Yep.
No fillers, just all active ingredients. So that's why we do love powders more. But collagen is so important for pets and humans. It's the most abundant protein in the body. And I like to think of it as the body's natural foundation because it provides structure and strength to skin, bones, tendons, ligaments, muscles, and even internal organs. And so as pets age, their natural collagen production declines, which is why you start to see things like stiff joints, dull coat, slower recovery after activity. So,
Mhm.
supplementing with collagen can help replenish what the body is making less of over time. And there's so many different types of collagens. And so that part can be really confusing
Right.
for parents. There's actually over 28 known types of collagen in the body. But the key ones that we focus on and I focus on for my pet clients are types 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 5, and 10, just because those are the most important that are the most important in the body. So type 1 makes up about 90% of the body's total collagen and provides structure to the skin and bones and tendons and ligaments. Then you have type 2 that's found in elastic cartilage that's important for joint support. Type 3 supports muscles, arteries, organs. Type 5 is found in the cornea of the eyes and layers of skin and hair. And then type 10 plays a role in growth and like remodeling of articular cartilage, which is super important for joints. And most of the supplements on the market right now, they don't include a full spectrum. Most of them have one type or two types, but the full spectrum is really what you want to look for. That's the most beneficial for pets. And I don't know if you've looked at your own supplement that you're taking, how many types of collagens there are in them.
I didn't even know what to look for. I was just waiting to talk to you because I figured you do things by the book. You
Yeah.
don't just do fly by the seat of your pants. I know. Let's have a supplement that sounds trendy, or everyone else has one. Let's us do one too. I definitely see that. But you're probably the dog and they're the tail that's wagging or whatever that expression is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that also speaks to a price point, whether it's human or animal. If something is pricey, it doesn't necessarily go hand in hand, but in all likelihood, there's research behind it, there's science behind it, and there's a thought process it together. So these types of, just to back up for a minute, so 90% of the collagen in our body is type
One.
1.
Yep.
Is that true for humans and animals?
I think it's pretty similar. Yes.
Okay. It's the kind that you would need the most of, and then the other ones complete the whole picture, the way amino acids have to be complete.
Yes. And I
It-
think like a lot of people, they take collagen supplements because they're thinking about their skin and hair, but really a big reason why people should take joint supplements or collagen supplements is for
right.
their joints because there's a lot of collagen that goes into it. Type 2, you have type 10. Those are really important for joints as well. Type 1, type 2, and type 10 are really important for joint health. And so a lot of pet parents are turning towards collagen in addition to their traditional hip and joint supplements that have
Right.
glucose and chondroitin because they're actually is starting to be more evidence that collagen might be more beneficial than those traditional
Wow.
ingredients.
Because
Yeah,
I take that as well. I mean,
the
glucose
joints.
SM. Again, I try to take it from a company that I trust, which is Now, which is a company I think is still family owned. And that's
Yep.
how I look at Fera Pets for pets. I think one of the issues is if we look at the pet industry, Pet stores are often encouraged to have lots of different things on your shelf, lots of SKUs, as if
Mhm.
it's, I don't know, CVS. Let's have a lot of different makeups.
Mhm.
And then people have a choice of all the different brands of makeups. But and it isn't to say that L'Oreal is better than Maybelline or Revlon at a CVS level. They're probably all pretty good. I'm not brand conscious and I don't go to the fancy store and get the $150 foundation because my dog's going to lick it off or it's going to come off during pickleball or something. But I think where pet supplements are concerned, it's really of concern because so many companies that were never supplement companies to begin with come out with supplements because it's the thing that's catching people's attention, a trendy word, a trendy new ingredient.
Yeah.
The problem is we don't have proof positive as owner that it's working. We have to believe in the company that's put it together, that research has shown that it's valuable and that it's bioavailable. Isn't that a
Mhm.
big part of it? Whether the dog or cat's body can take it in?
Absolutely. I think that's why it's so important that there are studies that are being done on the ingredients themselves to make sure that there's actual benefit and that the pet can actually absorb it and use it in the body. I think the sources of where we get the collagen from is super important. In our collagen plus supplement, we have different sources. So we use bovine collagen, which is one of the richest sources of types 1 and 3. We also include marine collagen, which is from fish like wild caught cod, that has excellent bioavailability. And then we also use eggshell membrane, which is a natural source of types 1, 5, and 10. And then the most impressive ingredient is called UC2, which is a clinically studied form of undenatured type 2 collagen, which is derived from chicken sternum cartilage.
Oh
And there's
my
actually
goodness.
studies that have been done in dogs that have actually proven to help with joint health. It's hard. There's two different types of collagens. So there's denatured and undenatured.
Oh,
That matters. So most collagen is hydrolyzed, meaning it's been broken down by heat, enzymes, or pH into smaller peptide fragments. So that's actually good for absorption. But undenatured collagen, it retains its three-dimensional structure. And so when consumed orally, UC2 works through a process called oral tolerance. So it interacts with the immune systems in the gut to reduce the immune system's attack on its
wow.
own body's cartilage. So it's fundamentally has a different mechanism of action. And in clinical studies, it has been shown to be effective for joint support at very small doses. So in our formula, we have 20 milligrams of UC2 alongside 1,800 milligrams of
Oh,
bovine and
wow.
100 milligrams of marine collagen. So you really get both mechanisms of action and this really wonderful ingredient that's been clinically studied in dogs to help with joint support. I truly believe in knowing like the types of collagen that you're giving to your pets. Are there any studies behind that type of collagen that actually shows a benefit? And also you want to make sure that your pet can take it. And so the powder is also flavorless and there's no inactives, no fillers. It's very clean too.
It's basically just neutral. You put it
Yeah.
on the food, it's neutral. They don't know. Or you put it, my new thing for Sky, who won't eat hardly anything, is kibble and milk, as if it's cereal and
Yeah.
milk. He'll eat the kibble if it's got milk. He likes milk. I don't know why people think dogs are lactose intolerant. That's just a story I've never
Yes.
believed. So
Yep.
you could sprinkle this into your kibble and milk, your evening snack, which is
Mm-hmm.
what some lucky dogs get. But just to back up for a moment, chicken sternum cartilage, is that strange, if you will, piece of almost transparent connective something that's attached to the breastbone when you're cooking a
Yes.
chicken? That's
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
So if
Yeah.
you give that to your dog, obviously you can only give one per chicken, and you're not eating that many chickens in a day. But
Yeah.
would that,
Technically, so the trademarked name, so UC2, it's a registered trademark, but it
okay.
refers specifically to like a patented standardized form of this undenatured type 2 collagen, and it is derived from the chicken sternum cartilage, but it is the specific ingredient that has the clinical research behind it, but it's standardized to contain a minimum of 10% undenatured type 2 collagen. So even though you may be feeding the chicken sternum cartilage, this ingredient by itself, it has been processed to make sure that there's at least 10% of the undenatured type 2 from there. So I don't know the technicality of how many would need in order to get the right amount, but yes.
But I do give that to the dogs, and I also give that kind of knuckle part of the bones, the knee joints of the chicken, that kind of knuckly thing that's at the end of
Yeah,
the leg, thinking
yeah,
that that must have something good in it too, but that's connective tissue. And who knows
yeah,
if they don't chew it well enough, which dogs
exactly.
don't,
There's
then
some,
it's how well absorbed can it be? Who knows that you need to chew
yes,
it and the saliva needs to break it down, whatever it is, in
yeah,
order for it to, and that's the whole point about hydrolyzed. People used to
yes.
misunderstand hydrolyzed and think it meant, oh, that's a chemical sounding word.
Mhm.
That's very manipulated, but it purifies
Mhm.
whatever the ingredient is that's going into either the supplement or the food.
Yeah. And yeah, going back to just feeding the bones and things like
Right.
that. As a vet, I don't like to recommend that just because I'm afraid of things getting stuck or puncturing the GI tract and things like that. So this is a
Oh,
getting,
no bone. I don't feed the bone. I pull
yeah.
off that little
Okay.
knuckly
Okay.
transparent thing. Oh Lord, I would
I thought
never.
you were giving like just a full on chicken.
No, God, that gives you. Poor Michelle's thinking, I love sponsoring her show, but the woman's out of her mind. She's giving cooked chicken bones, which are like little daggers in the.
Yeah, but I think that's why I always advocate, at least with the supplements, you know exactly
Yeah,
what, you know, the
yeah.
milligram, the dosing that you are giving is actually making a positive benefit versus giving pieces here and there. It's not always getting the right amount.
Do you find that cat owners are welcoming the idea of a supplement that's really great for the aging cat, or they don't get it? Because I think one of the problems for cat owners is they wish there were more products that were cat absorbent or cat friendly or cat intended, but you can't tell with a cat, A, that they're
Yeah.
in pain. They don't limp. They just move more slowly. They don't jump up onto surfaces the way they used to. Maybe they're not as playful or as affectionate for any kind of a joint issue.
Mm.
So you have to be taking one of these supplements for at least 2 to 4 weeks, right?
Yes, I like to say at least 4 to 6 weeks to really
Okay.
for daily use to really have a benefit, but it's interesting because obviously both dogs and cats need collagen, and cats, especially as they age, they can develop joint stiffness and skin change
Yeah.
just like dogs. So I do think that cat owners are becoming more proactive, and we've been seeing that with our other
Oh,
line of
good.
products, that the kidney support is doing very well because they know that kidney support can be very detrimental to a cat's life and be just painful, and the quality of life is not good as they get older. And so I think people are starting to be proactive with cats, and collagen is one of those things where there's actually evidence that it helps, and it's a daily scoop of powder that you put in their food that can actually help their joint health long term. And I know it's hard, again, like it comes back to education about being proactive, but it is super important to try to give different supplements and foods that will just help their longevity and quality of life as they get older. And just understanding, okay, for my dog and cat, collagen just naturally declines it with age. And what can I do, like before I'm seeing the actual joint stiffness or coat changes, like what can I do before it gets to that point? And so just by adding it in daily is such an easy thing to do to help before things start to get worse.
But it takes a leap of faith
It
because you
does.
don't necessarily see it. But intellectually, anyone who understands the need for supplementation with
Yeah.
today's world,
Mm.
isn't to say that cat foods aren't complete and balanced. They are. They're
Yeah.
complete and balanced to nourish the cat, but they have nothing to do with disease prevention. They're not
Yes.
supposed to. It's food. They're
Yes.
not there to mitigate symptoms. That's
Yeah.
not the intention of food. So that's where supplements come in. And it's really hard, even for me sometimes, to just have this faith because really good supplements like Fera Pets are expensive. They have
Mhm.
to be. They're expensive to make. The
Yeah.
ingredients that go into them are expensive to source and do it from the right source and a clean source and a source that checks every batch to make sure it has the percentages and amounts that it's supposed to have. All that. It's really important to have the National Animal Supplement Council seal at
Yeah.
NASC. If you don't
Yes.
have that on a product, then it's really just somebody who also makes dog biscuits or who's
Yeah.
coming up with something called a supplement of collagen or a
Yep.
supplement of glucosamine, and it hasn't gone through the vetting process, so to speak.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's really a curiosity that there are people who will supplement their dogs and cats before they supplement themselves.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we should take as good care of ourselves as we do our pets because we got to be the last man standing to take care of them. There's no way that humans should take your collagen supplement, right? I know legally you can't tell them to, but I'm kind of
Legally,
tempted.
yeah, legally I cannot tell anyone, like any
Right.
human, to take it, but I know people, actually other vets, that take it for themselves, because when
Wow, that's high praise.
one of my friends told me that she gives her dog our collagen plus every day, and she just looks at the ingredients and just texts me all the time and says, there's nothing like this in the human space, and I
Right.
just want to take this. Yeah, that makes me feel really good about all the investigations and studies and R&D that we did that went into this product. And like you were saying, I think it's important for people to understand like what to look for, because again, you said it can be expensive. You have to take a leap of faith. I think that if there's ingredients that have been studied that have been trademarked, that's one great thing to look for. Obviously, the NASC seal that you mentioned, just because we get audited, they have really
Yes.
high quality standards for manufacturing. They always check marketing claims, the label, ingredients. And then I think looking for third party testing is something that we haven't
Yeah.
really talked about, but on
Yeah.
our website, we have a C of A tool where we show every single C of A for every lot. We show all of our testing, from microbial testing, heavy metal testing. We do label claim testing. So I think not only are we saying that we're doing it, but we're actually posting it on our website for people to see it, because we really value transparency. And we feel like that once someone comes to Fera and sees our website and sees the quality products, they never want to leave, because there's no other transparency
Right.
with any other brand in the pet space. I think that those are all really important things to look for. And if anyone has any question about their pet's health, or does this mix with this medication, or anything, any questions, we always respond. And I usually always am involved if it has to do with the health.
Nice.
I'm always giving feedback, because it's important to have a vet's opinion going
Yes.
into any recommendations. Yeah, I think it's important just to look at the brand overall and see who are the people behind it. Make sure there's no fake vets, which I've seen a lot
Oh,
of
that's
people.
interesting.
I've seen,
Hello.
yeah, I've seen people post like stock images of vets where they can buy it from like Shutterstock, or just image
Wow.
AI images, and they're just posting vet formulated and things like that, when it's very easy to find that they don't actually have real vets.
Oh,
It's a
fake
bummer,
vet.
because yeah, it's a bummer because people do have to investigate a little bit more on the brands before they buy. And most pet parents care so much about what goes into their pets, that
Yeah.
they will do that research. And I think that's great for the pet space. We need to keep the brands accountable to make sure
Yeah.
that they're doing the right things, and make sure that our pets are getting the best quality supplements. That's why
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah, you're right. On the one hand, it's a bummer that people have to be cautious. On the other hand, it's great for Fera Pets. You
Yes.
said no one else is posting the results of third-party testing because
Yes.
I imagine that takes time and energy. And oops, what if one of your batches didn't pass? Then what? Well, of
Yeah.
course, you pull the batch in your
Refull
case,
batch. Yep.
if that were
Yep.
to happen, because sometimes in the manufacturing process, something gets changed. Maybe
Yes.
I don't know, the humidity, the heat,
Mhm.
something in the process out of your control, and maybe even out of the control of the manufacturer.
Mhm.
That's what the third party testing is for. Oh, okay. So what happened during that batch? You go back and look.
Yes.
Well, Sally was on the machine that day.
Mhm.
She had been up all night. So she wasn't paying as close attention. I don't know what goes
Yeah,
on behind
whatever
the
the
scenes,
reason is. Yeah.
but it requires, I think it's good that we're all a little cynical and a
Hmm.
little bit suspicious because even if everything was inexpensive and just as easy as dog biscuits or cat treats in terms of the price, you're still putting something in your pet that you, like you said, heavy metals. There's so many things that can affect what you're putting in your pet. Their whole thing about the lining of cans at one point,
Hmm.
whether the lining of the cans was throwing something into the. I
Yeah.
think that okay, so what you're saying is some of your vet friends have taken the color. plus.
Yeah. I
And
actually have other like our organic mushroom blend. People humans love
oh,
taking that. They put it in their
that's a great
coffee.
one.
Yep.
That's great because actually, Dr. Mushroom, who was on the show, when I said, "Oh, Fera Pets is one of my sponsors, one that I'm very proud to have," he said, "Oh, I think they use my mushrooms," because he is involved with the,
The pet space.
yeah, the pet space and the manufacture of these mushroom extracts or powder.
Yeah. It was it Dr. Silva
Yeah,
or
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I mean,
love
he's
that.
the guy. I mean, he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
giving a whole talk at
Yep.
VMX
See,
on there's a
I
mushroom
him.
for that. And I'm like, yeah,
Yes,
I've been
there
giving
is.
the mushroom blend because it's really good for the immune system. And
Yep.
Wanda has supposedly some shadow on her liver. And I was giving your liver support. God, she doesn't like that. She
I
doesn't like
know.
because the turmeric, I think it's
Yeah.
spicy.
There's strong herbs in that one, so the smell can be a little bit tough, but it's if you can hide it, it's
Peanut butter.
so good for their
Peanut
liver.
butter. I
Yep.
say, here's your peanut butter, honey. And then she eats it. But sometimes a little, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
Yeah,
So be
exactly.
given castor oil, which is actually quite a healthy thing. I don't know, in medieval times, right? Or the northern part, like Northern Europe,
Yeah.
Norway, Finland, I think they take whole spoonfuls of cod liver oil
Yeah.
without it being in a capsule. Sometimes it's not the most delicious, but so what are you going to be highlighting at the Global Pet Expo? Are there any new products that we should know about?
We are still pushing our, I always love talking about our collagen and our whole food multi because those are really staple supplements that I think every pet should take. But we're still focusing on our new soft chew line that we launched in August, and that's just for dogs. So that's just the main benefits. We have each like probiotic, hip and joint, multivitamin, calming, and allergy and immune. And the thing that makes those products different is that at Fera, we really believe in gut health and how the gut really
Yeah,
affects every body
yeah,
system. And so
yeah.
we include a clinically studied probiotic or postbiotic strain in each of those supplements to actually benefit that targeted body system. For example, for our calming support, we have a clinically studied postbiotic that helps with the gut brain axis and has been proven to help relax and calm down dogs. So that's why we use that strain. And the same goes for our hip and joint. We have a postbiotic that helps with weight management because people always think about glucosamine, chondroitin, now collagen, but a big part of joint health is actually weight management.
For
And I think a lot of people forget about that, helping with metabolism, things like that. So I'm really excited to promote all 5 of those SKUs and also
sure.
our collagen plus. We have a really good variety catalog. So we really have everything, something for every pet. So very
And do you
excited.
find that most of the retailers who carry your stuff, or vets, or holistic vets, and or retailers that have very wise stores that only sell very pure stuff, really unadulterated, coming from
Yeah.
organic type sources?
I think we have a mixture of both, which is really great to see because I like to see that maybe a pet store that didn't care about it too much, like
Right.
you're educating them and
Yes.
they're getting more potent, cleaner formulas. So actually, I'm really excited because we are launching nationwide in Petco in April at the
Wow.
end of the month. And I'm really excited because a lot of the signage that we put up is about education and so I think it's going to make pet parents more confident in their decisions when they walk into that pet store has how many brands. We're going to have an end cap that has some nice verbiage and like a picture of me and also just things to give tips on what to look for. So I'm really
Nice.
excited for that. Yeah. And to just help more pet parents.
I like it too, because the more you're in mass market, the more you reach the masses. And
Yeah.
they
And
and their
help more
pets,
pets.
yeah, they need to know about this and they need to have access without having to go to a precious little store that's off the beaten track kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Michelle Duke, you're doing amazing things at Fera Pets. You created it from scratch and you've grown it into just a wonderful company that you still have your hands all over, which is a rare thing in the pet industry. So thank you for all of your care and consideration and everything you make for our little animals.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for having me. Always fun to chat with you.
Indeed, and with you as well. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.